Don't be tripping, it's just flipping. My name's Natalie. I'm a full-time reseller and I sell thousands of dollars worth of clothing every single week between eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Depop, and even Etsy. I'm going to share some of my tips with you to help you get that clothing listed and sold. So let's get into it. First things first, you guys, you just got to have a few basic things. Whenever I'm taking photographs, all I have is my curtain right here. I don't use some fancy light box for clothing. I do want one of those in the future, but I don't have the room for it in the space we're in now, so this works just fine. I do pull it back with some blue tape or painter's tape. It kind of helps get some of the lines out of the curtain and just makes it look a little bit more flat. This tends to work well for me. I am using a light gray instead of white. It doesn't get as dirty as quickly, so I'm liking the light gray background. You gotta have good lighting. So I'm in my kitchen. We have recessed lighting on our ceiling, as you can see. So that's like the perfect lighting for whenever I'm taking pictures. You're gonna need a couple hangers. I use two. I do have a kids hanger that I also use if I'm photographing kids clothing, but these are the two basics. You need one for pants and skirts and shorts, and then you need just a regular hanger for your jackets and long sleeves and t-shirts. A couple other essentials you're gonna need is a steamer. Now, I did used to wash all of my clothing, or at least 90% of it. I've kind of moved more towards about 40, 50. I'm not washing as much as I used to. I do wash a majority of the clothing that comes from yard sales just because they usually need it. They've been sitting outside, so they do get washed. When I'm washing those, I just use a light detergent, not one that's really scented because some people are allergic. You don't want to have any issues with that. So keep that in mind whenever you're washing the clothing. You're also going to need a steamer. This is a must for me, especially if you're not washing the clothing, you guys. This is going to help freshen them up, and it does help get all those wrinkles out. You want to have the best pictures as possible. You don't want them to be all wrinkled. They're more likely to sell if they look better. Measuring tape. I do measure every single piece of clothing, and I put it in the description of each listing. I do not photograph the measurements just because that would take more time on my end. I take the photos hanging up, so I would have to put them on the floor, lay it out, blah, blah, blah. I'm not gonna do that, you guys. It's quick for me to just measure it on my own. And then I put it in my little template here. I came up with my ready to list template. This is gonna help you stay organized, and it helps you keep track of all the measurements for clothing that you're gonna picture. These definitely come in handy. You can get these in my Etsy shop for just $1.99, and you print as many as you need after that. So just for the first initial one, it's $1.99. I do have these for hard goods and shoes as well. If you want to check that out, I'll leave the link in the comments. But whenever I'm going to list, I just sit down and I put these in the description of each listing. Pretty simple. You're also going to want a lint roller. So this is just to get any kind of hair or, you know, little fuzzies and things like that off of the clothing. I use two types of poly bags whenever I'm doing clothing. My go-to is 12 by 16. I do get these off Amazon and eBay, whoever's cheapest at the time that I need them, but 12 by 16. That is my most used bag. Jackets fit in that, jeans fit in that, shirts fit in that. Now, if I have coats or larger jackets, I will put them in these 18 by 24 clear poly bags. I do like the ones with the suffocation warnings on them. We sold on Amazon, and that was a policy that they had. It had to have this on there. So we just kind of stuck with it. Not required by eBay or any of the other selling platforms, just something good to have for a peace of mind on my end. I wouldn't want anybody choking on a plastic bag, you guys. We don't want that. Another item I will use every once in a while if I have sweaters is a fabric shaver. This is good to have on hand. This is the one that I prefer. I actually haven't had to use it in a while. I haven't picked up sweaters that needed it. But you just turn it on and it gets rid of the little fuzzies for you. This will be in my Amazon link, you guys, if you want to check it out. But that's for sweaters that have the little pills on it. It's great to use. So let's get into taking some pictures. We're going to move our hangers out of the way. The first item we just picked up yesterday, I take any of the stickers off, is this Winnie the Pooh overalls. They are adult size. We paid 10 bucks for them. Super cute. But I just hang it up. This is a larger item, so you'll see whenever I am photographing them, I do step back and I crop this out on eBay. I take all my photos in square mode, even hard goods, and then I will crop out everything else. So it will be taken in square mode, but it will be cropped on eBay when I go to upload it. First things first, it needs just a little bit of steam in. The legs look a little wrinkled, so I'm just gonna steam it out real quick. Usually doesn't take long. The steamer is linked also. I love it. It's handheld. It's easy to use. It works great. It's perfect. I just do it to where it's nice and presentable. And these overalls are just so stinking cute. All right, let's get taking some pictures. Alrighty guys, I'm using my Meta glasses, so I'm going to go into photo, and mine's already in square mode, but if you need to put yours in square mode, just click this down arrow, and it's going to be right here. Just click square. Yep. Just go ahead and, whoa, messages popping up left and right. Just go ahead and click square, and I have to back it up just like this, you guys. So I come in, take some up close photos, and just get those details. Make sure you are getting those. We're going to switch it, turn it around, and then see how these flaps are right here. I'm going to go ahead and steam these little wrinkles out, and then get these flaps laying flat. Just more presentable. Always make sure you check the pockets of items that you're selling. Thrift stores and yard sales, because we found some money before, other questionable items that you just toss, but always want to check for money. But yeah, go ahead and get those wrinkles out. Be careful with the steamer, it gets very hot. I've burnt myself a couple times. I'm just gonna kind of open it up, make sure my curtain's laid nice, looks good. I'm gonna step back. Again, I'm in square mode, and you can see here I will crop all of this out. That will get cropped. Now I'll come in and get this detail here, and go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to take it down, and we're going to take a picture of the tag itself. I'm going to take it down, and we're going to take a picture of the tag. Having issues, I use a pin to just hold that down and take a picture. And you just want to make sure none of your pictures are blurry, especially when you're first starting out. All of them look great. Alright guys, now it's time to measure. These are overalls, so we're going to have to do a few measurements. I do like doing the waist, so I'm going to go here to here, so 18. Waist is 18, and we're going to do poo overalls. If I can spell. Inseam, which is from the crotch down to the hem of the pant. So you just lay it flat, and 28 inches. So the inseam's 28, and I am going to do the rise as well. So the rise is from the crotch to the top of the waistband. So we're going to go from here to here, and it's 12 inches. So we're just going to come over here, right, rise. I'm not going to do pit to pit just because there's no armpits. This goes to the middle of your chest. And yeah, if it was a wide leg pant, I would measure the pant leg too. But that's all the measurements that I'm going to do for these overalls. Now we're just going to fold them up, and I'm going to fold it out to where I can see Winnie the Pooh, just so whenever I go to get these out of the tote, you're going to be able to see it. I'm just going to fold them up. Doesn't have to be perfect, you guys. Take my 12 by 16 bag, and we're just going to lay it in there. So the 12 by 16s, like I said, they're great for even larger items like this. And these, you just take this off, and then these are not resealable, so once you take that off, sometimes I can get it open and reclose it, but most of the time you cannot. They're not resealable, so make sure once you're done with it, you're done with it. And that's one item. Once I get all of these photographed, they will get put into totes and then put in our storage unit. Once it sells, I go to the tote that it's in and ship it out. Now we're going to put the items that I've already photographed in a tote so we don't get too far ahead of ourselves and we have to go through all the clothing and put them in totes at the end. So let's do that. So this is what the totes look like. They are stackable totes. We got these at an auction. This is tote T38, so we have numbers all the way up to 200. We did start with letters and then went to numbers. And then we just put the items in the totes. It is a mix of hard goods and clothing. This one's all clothing, but we do mix our hard goods in with the clothing. And I'm just gonna nicely put these in here. Now, if you have two of like a similar item, say you have two Ralph Lauren jeans, they're just different sizes, you can always put a little tag on the outside. So when you go to get these out of the tote, you know exactly which one it is. These are in tote T38. I'm gonna go over here to my ready to list template, and I'm gonna write in T38. Larger items we keep in our attic, so larger clothing items, that's where I'll put them, just so they don't take up so much space. T38, 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 T38. Make sure you can read your own writing. And then I will use all this information whenever I sit down to list. This is all the information I'm gonna need with my photographs, and I'll be good to go. Alrighty guys, that is how I picture clothing. Pretty simple. Once you get used to it, you get pretty quick at getting clothing done. Make sure you're picking up clothing that you're excited to list, because if not, this task is gonna be pretty monotonous for you, and you're just gonna have a death pile full of clothing that you don't wanna get listed. So that's my biggest piece of advice. Make sure you're picking up items that you want to get listed and you're excited to get listed. So I'm excited to get the rest of these clothes listed. It's gonna take me about an hour, hour and a half to fill up 2 of my ready to list pages, and that will be good. I usually photograph about 3 days a week for a couple hours, so I stay on top of the items that we're picking up, so I don't get behind on photographing clothing. It can get overwhelming pretty darn quick. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Don't be tripping, it's just flipping.